I might regret this because it's cold. We got this cold snap in Lethbridge right now. We had the mildest winter in the world for months, and then we got this dump of snow a few days ago. I'm trying to catch a bus, and I might miss it. I can't remember the last time I missed a bus. This is the first time I'm taking a bus in Lethbridge, and it is because it's like minus 30, but with wind chill, the real feel is like minus 38, minus 40. And so, I'm not working today, and I really like to go to the studio to paint, but I'm worried about my battery dying in my car if it's out there for too long, and I don't want to leave every hour or two to go start my car and then come back. My hand is freezing. Let's see if I make this bus. I missed my bus by like 60 seconds. Like, I saw it. I haven't taken a bus for so long. Like, I don't even know now. 9 years? If I've been here for 7, about 9 years. Or, yeah. Because I'm just thinking of when I was working certain jobs and when I was done university. And I was done in 2015. And right after that, I just like didn't need to take the bus anymore. So, one, I feel like a noob. So that's why I'm explaining how I missed it. Back in the day in Saskatoon, I would make sure I'm there 5 minutes early, bare minimum, because the window was like a 10-minute window. And in winter, it's like it could be 5 minutes early or right on time or 5 minutes late. So you've got this 10-minute window. But here, I don't know how they run. I had to do a bunch of digging to figure out the time. I'm not even at my house because they don't have service to my house. So I left Rebecca's and like then walked over to the closest bus station, is like 4 blocks away, which is fine. Not station, but bus bench, pickup spot, whatever. And like, yeah, I missed it because 1, I didn't leave early enough, and 2, round 2, I'll let you know how it goes in more detail later. I'm gonna put my hand back in my gloves. I've made so many mistakes today taking the bus. We'll see if I get on this one. I don't know how long my battery's gonna last in this cold, but I got time to kill because when I looked up the bus schedule the first time, I had the right bus, and then like it got later and later and I didn't leave on time. And then the time I was looking at was for a different bus at this same stop. Like, I've made so many mistakes today, it's bananas. But it's only like another 10 minutes until that one comes. Man, I can see the numbers on the GoPro moving so slow. Like, I need to shut it off. It's gonna die. I'm at the studio, just safe and sound. Yeah, it took me a long time to warm up. I just forgot to do something on the computer, and now I'm doing that before I forget again. But I got both heat dishes going, which is, I think, maybe the first time I've ever had to do that. My feet are still a little chilly, but I've been here for like, I don't even know how long now. I can't believe it's been that long. It's 3:25. Been here for like 2 hours, approximately, which is wild because they have not done much in that time. But yeah, it took me a long time to warm up before I can get my jacket off and all that stuff. It's just the way that the temperature is kept in the whole, not the whole, in this area of the building. It could be warmer. All you have to do is turn the heat up, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, I got both heat dishes running, and I'm not comfortable yet. And again, I've been here for long enough that it's pretty sure my body is where it needs to be with core temperature and stuff now, but I still need like my hoodie and whatever else going on here. So But yeah, I just forgot how much stuff I have to think about when I'm busing, and like just my frame of reference is different. Like there were just so many things that went wrong today with that I'm like, well, I know I've never taken the bus here before, ever, or as a child when I lived here as a kid, not like in the past 7 years as an adult. And even then, I wouldn't have. I mean, the bus routes would have changed a bunch, and how they work and operate. The buses themselves have changed, and I wasn't taking the bus alone when I was here as a kid. I would have been with my mom too. So, anyway, a lot's changed. I was just not prepared for the cold part or the busing part, and because of the cold part, not being prepared for the busing part made it way harder to just have to wait for the bus that long in that extreme temperature. Just so many things I just don't remember considering. Like my electronics are going to start to lose battery pretty quick, even if they're in my backpack, or if like my phone is in my pocket, like right next to my leg. Like it's still that cold that it's going to affect all that stuff, and just like what it feels like to not have certain layers in certain areas, and just like I don't know. Yeah, my feet are still cold, but anyway, it's I'm here. I survived. It's fine. But I also have to take the bus back, and it's going to be a little colder later when I finally do that, I think. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I want to get some art done here today. I haven't done a lot yet. I'm going to. There's so many things I wanted to say in the vlog, and I forgot all of them. I'm going to drop this off, I believe, once I give it a title. I don't know if there's. I don't think there's anything else I can do to it. I think I'm going to drop this off at the mall today for some. What do I call that? Peace offering. A little peace offering at the mall. And yeah, I don't know. Not a lot going on over here. I'm excited to do some stuff, but just haven't really done it yet. I can't remember all the things I was thinking before. I think that one of the major things was that I had this conversation about art and legacy and stuff, and mortality and anxiety, and I really enjoyed that process. I learned a lot. I will say though that like I think I'm still learning more about it, and part of what I think I would suggest watching it or listening to it, just because like I think it's really informative and potent with like things that would help someone understand me better if that's your goal at all. And I just learned a lot, and it might help you learn more about yourself as a person / artist / whatever. But that was one of the things I was thinking of, is that just like my artist self is still so much a part of me, and it's like there's not a lot of separation between me and me as an artist. But aside from that, I was also thinking that I just didn't really consider how much my environment shaped my practice. Because even things like temperature and it's just like there's so many factors that inform your art practice that you don't think of, maybe with like obviously studio space and having the space to work, thus having the money to buy certain materials, right? And then man, I had this idea earlier and now I forget. But things like having a certain type of space to work in and what temperature it is, that affects how things even dry. And what materials you decide to use or not use. But there was something, what was the other thing? I was just thinking of the difference of the work that I've been making in Saskatoon, or the work I've been making in Lethbridge, and the work that I made in Saskatoon, and how that's differed. And I don't think it's just about time, but I think environment too, and what I see, and like things like doing landscapes that I never did before and had no interest in, but I also wasn't seeing it. But I also didn't really have a desire to like paint or draw buildings either. I just wanted to paint on them. So, yeah, I don't really know how to get further into that right now. But, yeah. And the other thing is that I recognize that I haven't really been using art, or I guess it's twofold. I haven't been using art, or I haven't had the need to use art in this cathartic process in the same way. I think as a preventative process, then me working on stuff is very preventative of things. Like it is cathartic in the fact that it gives me time and space to do stuff so that I don't get into a worse place. But the thing is that some situations prior were probably so high anxiety anyway for so long. Like I just needed that outlet, and I feel like I don't need art as that outlet in the same way that it reflects in the work I'm making about a specific situation that has occurred or experience that just happened, or something I'm in the present of trying to work out, because I don't have that same type of negativity in my life, or the same, or and I'm not dealing with the situations that I do have in front of me that are really difficult in the same way. I'm dealing with them in a much different way than I used to, and it's not just through art. I think that I just don't dwell on them as much. I don't talk about them as much. I do what I can to recognize what solutions I have control of and which ones I don't, and try to let it go quicker. And that's been more successful, and that's just the growth that I've had with myself. And but that's the thing; it's reflected in my work in the sense that I don't use art the same way that I used to. And I'm exploring more fun stuff, because I think I painted for fun before, but it was a minority of the time, and now it's a vast majority of the time I'm creating, and the process is just the process, and doing is doing, and doing is good. That kind of thing. And I used to make art about art, is what I called it, and I think I'm still doing that, but now it's like more fun too. So anyway, there's a lot that I learned about myself in that conversation, and I continue to learn now as I talk about it. And I just want to do art all the time, and I think it's fun. And it's weird to say, because I think for so long I was just like, it's serious. I'm like, yeah, it is serious, but it's also fun. And I think that's how I want to live my life differently, because it's always been serious to me, but definitely not always fun. And I want to make it as fun as possible, as much as possible. Other things I forgot about with busing. It's just like, other than layering and just like how quick my hands would get cold, I had to check the schedule again because I like messed up and just like it was the wrong bus I was waiting for, so I had to wait like another 15 minutes. So I'd been outside for close to a half hour. It was like minus 30, and I don't remember what it was with wind chill. So it's just like it was no good. But the other thing I learned is like I just got my beard trimmed like 2 days ago. And I was like, oh, my face is cold, right? And I was like, oh, snap. I'm glad that I still have this mess, this rat's nest here. But, yeah. Anyway, I need to make some art, so I'm going to go do that. And maybe I'll sign off on the vlog. Man, the bus was weird, too. I didn't know. Like, how much our bus is going to change in 9 years? You know what I mean? Like, but I've never been on a bus here anyway. You never know. Like, sometimes, like, a city will buy, like, the buses of another city because that city is upgrading before our city is, so like their old stuff is new to us. So sometimes like equipment like that for city or transit services happen, but like the buses in Saskatoon were better when I was taking them a decade ago than the buses in Lethbridge are now. Like the seats, the setup, the size, the drivers, like all of that stuff. So I shouldn't say drivers plural. I've only had one driver so far on this bus system, but it was a little unsafe, especially like road conditions and everything. Like it was a little bit bananas. So anyway, we'll see if I make it home alive. All right, no more busing adventures. I was gonna go today, but I've been having a really slow morning. I did get to the Y and did some physio and then played some basketball and been hanging out with Ren. It's minus 35 outside, and the real feel is like another 8 to 10 degrees below that. So, yeah, I'm content with just hanging out. Not just because of the cold. Again, the biggest thing is like it's too cold for me to take my car and leave it there without having to go and start it like every hour or two. So that's why I took the bus yesterday and why I was thinking about taking the bus today. But I've got other things I need to do today. I think I'll be okay without. Like, I'm going to get out of the house a little bit, but I'm just going to drive and do some errands. But yeah, just wrapping up the vlog. The only other video this week is a conversation that I had about being an artist. I've already explained it in the vlog, but that's the only other video. Yeah, just being an art, mortality, anxiety, legacy, connection for me. And I think that's it. So see you on another time.